Hey, everybody, this is James with the Soundboard team. I'm here with Andrea. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
All the way from San Antone. So Andrea, we were just talking before I started recording, and she's been in the business for 10 years. So tell us a little bit about how marketing yourself has changed in that time span.
Oh my gosh. Without boring you in the old days kind of details, everything had to be face to face, I would say years ago. And social media has completely changed that. So I've really had to look at how I can evolve my business. And I don't tell a lot of people this, but I'm a huge introvert. So I love what social media brings to our business because it allows you to work literally from anywhere. You know, the beauty of what we do is that we do have that flexibility to work from anywhere within limitations. But if you have to set up a party or go out like I used to do, it was far different than today, to be able to sit at home, sit on your patio, wherever you're at, and get on social media and make it work for you. So it's been fun. It's been fun to learn it and then to work on what I try and instill in my team is branding ourselves on social media.
Well, that was another point that you brought up before we started recording was that, and this is our philosophy at Edge Theory, conversation is an asset or it's a liability. And if you do it wrong, you can really harm yourself. But talk about how you've kind of, your views on that have shaped the way that you market yourself and the product through social.
Oh, absolutely. Because, I feel like if you go back to the Juice Plus Company's mission to inspire healthy living around the world, that's exactly what we had the opportunity to do through social media. So what I've worked with my team to say is what you want to do is create a brand for yourself. And so our goal on any social media, we do a lot of Facebook, of course, but it's to be positive, inspiring, and motivating. And so what I say is you don't need to put brands out there per se. You are the brand. And if you are inspiring people and putting a good vibe out there every day, they're going to be drawn to you. And so my goal has always been that when somebody I may know in my social media circle, a friend, has a health challenge or has a health question, I want my name to be the first one they think of. Like, gosh, I'm always on Facebook and I see that she's always sharing health articles and she's always got positive things to say and giving health tips. I think I'll go ask her. And I've had that happen, over and over where people have messaged me and said, hey, I see that you do this. I see that you share some health stuff. Could you help me here? And that starts that conversation. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I've talked about this with several other individuals, but how social media is such a powerful asset, but at the same time, it's so difficult to track from a conversation start to a click to a sale because so many times the conversation gets taken offline. So What would you say to somebody who's fairly new in the business and thinks, well, social media is not driving any sales to my Juice Plus site, so I'm going to quit?
Oh, that's absolutely crazy, first of all. But I wouldn't say that. I would encourage them. The thing is that our business is a series of exposures. It's conversation. We're all about education. And so what social media allows you to do is almost expedite that process in a way. Because if I go back again to old school days when I was first starting, I had to pick up the phone or I had to go meet somebody at a Starbucks or do a live presentation in a living room at night to get that exposure. And if it takes, some people 4, 5, 6 times of hearing a message before they move forward, social media allows us to expedite that, right? So I can just be consistent. And that's one thing that is so critical, I believe, and success in it is having that consistent message. And if you do that, within a week, you've created a whole series of exposures that can make things move. And I would say the record sales the company's had would attest to that social media is making a huge impact because businesses are moving faster than ever.
Mm-hmm. I had an interesting conversation with Jennifer Lankford yesterday, and she said that she started a conversation with somebody on Instagram 3 years ago, and they're just now getting to the point where they're ready to make a purchase. But it's just been, she started a relationship with this person and it's turned into, real advice giving, consoling kind of thing, but it's taken that long to build trust. And so,
yeah,
back to that point that yes, social media can accelerate, but it also is going to, and this is somebody who's on the other side of the country, it's also going to put you in touch with people that you could never, ever come across with otherwise.
Absolutely. I love that part of it.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as, you've been through some of our trainings that we did for the Daigles, we did a call for your team last night. How has getting your team better equipped to handle social media, how do you feel like that's helped, or have you, what's the feedback there?
Oh my gosh, I love Soundboard. I wish truly I could make it mandatory for everybody on my team to sign up for it. And the reason I say that is, quite honestly, it's just what we've said. When for like Jen Langford's example is a perfect example. I tell people you're being watched. I have two daughters that are in their 20s and they're on Facebook all the time and they never comment. So, they tell me, Mom, we're just Facebook stalkers. So I joke about that. And I say, there are people out there that are watching what you do and they want to see that your message is sincere and consistent. So what happened with Jen is just a perfect example of that. Over time, that happens. Well, the challenge people are going to run into over time is it gets just like insane to sit down. I cannot tell you how many times I would sit down and stare at a computer screen and start a Google search and go, okay, what should I post today? What would be positive? What would be inspiring? What would be health focused? And I would drive myself crazy, not to mention wasting a ton of time, because then you fall down that little rabbit hole, right? Into all these different images. And so to be able to go into Soundboard and utilize that, first of all, for the content that's available is so powerful. But then beyond that, the value added that you all are bringing with the trainings. Truly, last night, I cannot tell you, we had about 30 team members on, and the excitement, I'm still getting messages all morning. Like, that was absolutely phenomenal. That is what I needed. And so what y'all are doing truly, to me, is far beyond the content, because, I have another team member, she and I were text messaging last night after the training, and she's like, I'm starting Social 30 tomorrow. And I said, me too. I can't wait to get in here. And that you put those resources literally at our fingertips is just such a gift. So I truly am so appreciative of what y'all do, making my life a lot easier.
Well, that is certainly the goal, because we position the Soundboard to be a content resource, but we also have this vision for it, that it's really something that can help you grow your business, because we're giving you some time back. We're giving you, these trainings, and then you're now equipped. And so we're encouraging, as many folks as we can, of course, to sign up for it, but also to utilize all these trainings that we're putting in place. And so, yeah, thanks for the Social 30, thought there as well, because it's everybody learns differently. It's, a day-by-day, step-by-step guide. Take your time with it. But we've seen, and we keep getting reports, especially we hear these stories from all these Australia folks that are growing their entire business on social, 100%.
Yeah.
And so the potential is there. And so, I would encourage folks to not get discouraged by this. Well, I've been posting for 2 weeks and nobody's bought anything.
No.
Don't let that mentality.
That's not how it works. Facebook or social media, as I know you all have talked about in a lot of your trainings, it's the relationship that it's establishing, so it's not a sales pitch. And that is why I love a lot of what you put out there too, because it's not Juice Plus focused. It needs to be, again, going back to that branding concept of positive and inspiring and health focused. And it just, again, it makes life so much easier. I don't know I'm all about time freedom. I want my schedule. And seriously, if I had to sit down at this point in time and try and come up with all of that stuff, that's where I think people will give up too soon. And that's where you come in and being able to give the materials that make it easy to keep that message going consistently beyond those couple weeks waiting for that sale.
Well, that's a great thought on getting those relationships out there to start the customer conversation. But have you had any feedback from your team on anyone who's able to grow their teams yet through social media?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Again, it's sort of, I think we've always as a company led with the product. And so when you can put that product message out there and then you start that conversation, build that relationship, right? They become a customer. I can't even tell you how many times people are drawn into the business. One, from the result, mostly though, I would say from the culture of what our company is all about. I feel we have a phenomenal culture. I obviously don't have experience in other companies, but I think that it's just, I see more people today just flat out messaging team members, hey, tell me about Juice Plus. I saw your post. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting a message from that team member, hey, I got a new rep. And I'm like, where'd you meet them? Social media. They sent me a private message. I told them, well, they asked about the business. Because again, it goes back and it takes that positive and inspiring mindset, goes far beyond just health focus. People need positive and inspiring in their daily and their business life too. And so when they get to know the people, I think it's just an easy draw. And then again, when the tools are, I think back to our business model, and it most resembling, I can say that word, franchising and the system being in place. And so when you have the tools through social media and videos and everything else, then, it just makes it effortless. So people are drawn to it. Simple's good.
So that's a pretty good plug there. So you would say to a new team member, hey, we know, you need to do social. Don't get overwhelmed. Here's
a resource. Absolutely. Because I think I was telling you before we started here, I've had team members in the past not, get excited. We all get excited when we first start our business and they go out there and like, hey, Facebook world, I'm selling Juice Plus. Here's my card. You want some? And I'm just going, oh my gosh, no, stop. So if I can say, listen, we have this fabulous tool. So you don't have to worry about content. It's going to make your life so easy. What I find in this business is people struggle with most is the misconception that it takes a lot of time, right? Oh, I don't have time to do that business. I'm so overwhelmed already. I tell them, if you would take 5 minutes 3 times a day and just be active within social media. And again, going back to some of the training last night and the tips you gave us and just play around a little bit, work that. Last night, I couldn't even go to sleep. I was laying there tonight going, oh my gosh, I'm getting a system down because this stuff is powerful. It's going to create an explosion that, I think we're seeing it within the company, but I just think it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Yeah.
Well, that's, many congrats to you and your team and to the company on the whole. It sounds like record numbers every month and so it shows no signs of slowing down. So that's great.
I know. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Andrew, thanks so much for your time and your thoughts and your wisdom. And we'll be posting this on Facebook and tagging you, and you're going to be a celebrity, even though you're an introvert.
I don't need that. But really, I think I truly appreciate all you do. You and Joe and the whole Edge Theory group really make our lives easier. So thank you for that.
Well, that's the goal. That is the goal. Okay. Thanks so much.
Take care.